Kevin Towers is at home right now. And we think about what he's battling. And, you know, those are the people that deserve, you know, the opportunity to hear a guy from San Diego talk about good things.
Trevor Hoffman choking up mentioning Kevin Towers during his Hall of Fame press conference just a week ago. Trevor, well aware of the uphill cancer battle his friend was fighting. They say you can tell a lot about a person by their pets. It should come as no surprise that KT had a passion for bulldogs. Rick Willis has more.
On a day the Padres are getting prepared for their 24th trip to Peoria for spring training, they're mourning the loss of a longtime member of the Padres family and former GM Kevin Towers.
Camino, he was interviewing potential GMs, and Kevin was helping them. He was the scouting director at the time. And Larry said, "Yeah, I think I found my GM." And Kevin said, "Who?" He said, "You." And Kevin's asking me if he should take the job. I'm going, "Are you crazy? Take this job." And we ended up having a great time together.
Selected by San Diego in the first round of the 1982 draft, he spent 8 seasons pitching in the minors for the Friars. He spent time as a scout, and in 1995, he was named the Padres GM.
It doesn't seem that long ago, back in 1982, as a #1 draft pick of the same very organization, the excitement that I felt that day. The excitement was unparalleled until this moment.
Kevin Towers is a big reason why Petco Park is here today. He helped put together the 1998 World Series team, which in turn helped convince fans to pass Prop C, and in 2004, Petco Park opened.
And the Padres draped the National League flag around their shoulders for 1998.
You can bet they are celebrating back in San Diego. It has been a long wait, 14 years.
Towers was also GM for 4 of the Padres' 5 NL West titles in their 48-year history.
There's no need for, there you go. No need for any
And that's thanks to his ability to recognize pitching talent.
Craziest thing I ever did in baseball was I think it was 99, I traded Sean Mulligan to Dan O'Dowd and the Cleveland Indians for a wood-weight treadmill, used wood-weight treadmill, and $50,000 to put into our weight room.
In 2009, he was relieved of his duties as Padres GM, only to become the Diamondbacks GM a year later and lead them from worst to first.
The Diamondbacks are the National League Western Division champions in the year 2011.
KT spent most of his time on the diamond, where he left an impact on everyone that he met.
Yeah, this is one of the few guys out there that you will not hear a bad thing about. A true baseball hero, fun, absolutely awesomeness. There's no ego there. I mean, we went on a nice trip here to Pebble Beach and World Series of Baseball Golf. There's DeRosa and Phil Nevin and myself and KT. That was our foursome. That was our team.
Rick Willis, KUSI Sports.
There are the numbers. 14 seasons as the Padres GM, almost 30 years in the organization. He was named GM at the tender age of 33, 4 NL West titles while with the Padres, and of course that pennant year in '98. On the same night we remember Kevin Towers, the MLB Network is also remembering Mr. Padre with their new documentary on San Diego's #1 son. Here's a clip with Ted and Tony.
That's where baseball history's made, from the middle in. You know, if you were underneath, were you early or late? I mean, if you're underneath the pitch, what are you, generally early or late?
Tony was like a kid in the back of the room in the 4th grade, hoping A, the teacher doesn't call on him, and B, please God, if the teacher does, let me get the answer right.
Well, see, that's different with me. I say late.
I say late, too.
Okay. Well, see, I hit the ball the other way.
In the corner, I was going, yes, for him.
I like your line. History is made.
All right, remember on your big salary raise, don't forget about it.
It's a Major League history is made on the ball inside, and you know, your brain starts, my brain starts to tick. I'm trying to figure out what he meant. And when I did, I realized I was going to be a much better hitter from that point on, and I was.
A former Scotties changing tribes. The Kansas City Chiefs agreeing on a Tuesday trade to send former first-round pick Alex Smith to the Washington Redskins for cornerback Kendall Fuller and a 3rd-round pick. Smith also agreeing to a 4-year contract extension with his new team, tying him to the Redskins for the next 5 years. Washington more than happy to give Smith an extension that they were not willing to give to Kirk Cousins. We start our prep stops with boys hoops. St. Augustine visiting Boogie Ellis and the top-ranked Mission Bay Buccaneers. There's Chabuzo Agbo with two of his 25 points. First quarter dunk there. In the fourth quarter, though, here comes a boogie. He dishes to Andres Scott, who scores off the reverse Mission Bay. 51-45 to the Saints. Morse headed north, take on Mira Mesa. First quarter of the Tigers, Akil Parrish beats the first quarter buzzer to give the Tigers a lead. He's not done yet. Parrish will now beat the halftime buzzer. Final 54-34. Morse on top. 2 buzzer beaters for that young man. Girls' side of things now. Del Norte, the Lady Nighthawks taking on Poway. Poway's Sophia Real and McKaylee Whittle lead the Titans, scoring 11 apiece. But Del Norte's Madison Ombre would score 17, and India Star would add a game-high 21 as the Lady Nighthawks go on to win this one, 64-49. Del Norte now 4-1 in league play and 16-5 overall. At John Carroll Stadium, the Oceanside Oceanside Pirates welcome top-ranked San Marcos. Check out the full extension by the Pirates keeper, Cesar Mendoza. He had 13 saves, but San Marcos captain Anthony Cruz hits the back of the net twice as the San Marcos Knights win 3-0. Also in the Avocado East, matchup at El Camino, the Wildcats playing host to the Vista Panthers under the lights. This is Brian Covarrubias scores twice in the first half to give the Panthers a 2-0 lead. But in the 70th minute, it's Ben Souza with the assist and Arturo Camino with the goal. That is an equalizer there. Kiss your sister. We have a 2-2 final. On the pitch at the Bishop School, Lady Knights taking on Francis Parker in the 8th minute. The Knights, Allie Hopes scores the goal right there off the header. 7 minutes later, Bishop sophomore Alicia Hunn scores in the upper corner. The Knights cruise to the win, the final 5-0. And we head to the pool where the Knights of Bishop visiting the Dons of Cathedral. Second quarter, the Dons, Lauren Larkin scores one of her 3 goals in the first half to give the Dons the early lead. Later in the second, Lindsay Hightower with the fast break goal. Cathedral goes on to win it 12-6. And this is La Costa Canyon taking on Mount Carmel. Sun Devils. Cameron Delaney gets 4 goals in the fourth quarter. And then it's Mount Carmel freshman Megan Takeuchi score matches with 4 goals of her own. Mount Carmel wins it by a 13-5 margin. And speaking of the ASR, have you noticed that not only do we upload our highlights nightly now, we also include 2 to 3 minutes of raw highlights from each and every game we cover. Your great game or your great goal might not make it onto the highlight reel, but it always makes it on to the raw. So here's just another reason to check out our website. We're always serving our viewing customer.